What's good, Niner Empire, YouTube, Danny G here. About a day late, but of course I gotta give my crow to the Seattle Seahawks and their fans. Shout out to the Seahawks. Those fuckers beat us again. They gave us our first L. Shout out to Pigpen, who made a video this week, and Pigpen's a classic Seahawk video maker. He's inspired me to make a lot of my videos back in the day, a lot of the way that I did, a lot of my Hate Week videos. He inspired them to make them the way that I did, so class act. Shout out to Pigpen. Good to have him back in the loop this week. It's been a while since we've heard from him. He's a classic video maker. Shout out to him. Shout out to Seahawks Bersinio. Shout out to Rob English, who made a good video this week. And shout out to PCG Megan. She had some kind of incident where she got hurt. Just praying and hoping that she makes a speedy recovery. From what I've heard, she has been recovering, so shout out to her. She's a great Seahawks video maker, great person to talk to in Google Hangouts and whatnot, so hope she makes a speedy recovery. And yeah, well, so the Seahawks, it was a close game. It was a great game. We stayed in it for most of the time. We pretty much battled it out. However, the Seahawks in some ways also dominated us. Russell Wilson, he did his thing. Much as it pains me to say this, he's a top 10 quarterback in this league, possibly top 5. Jadeveon Clowney, the Seahawks defensive line, just dominated us. Joe Staley and Mike McGlinchey, their first game back after a few weeks being injured, they just looked rusty. Joe Staley's a veteran. He's a Hall of Fame left tackle, but he might, I don't know if he's going to be 100% back healthy. Hopefully he can. Only time will tell. He's going to be out for a couple weeks now, I believe, with a finger injury. Daniel Brunskill and Justin Skule have been doing pretty well, filling in for them. Some will argue maybe they should have started this game, but of course you got to go to your more experienced players on that offensive line to give Jimmy G more protection. So Jadeveon Clowney in that Seahawks defensive line, they dominated them. They dominated the Niners front, and they got some sacks on Jimmy G. However, on the times when Jimmy G was open in the pocket, had time, it feels like even though his arm looked good, even though like when he threw deep downfield, his accuracy on the passes looked good, he just seemed to also make some dumb decisions, threw the ball to buttfuck nowhere, it seems like at times. And he just looked like he just was not calm, not collected. He just looked different than he's been for most of this year. In the first quarter, it looked good. Kendrick Bourne got that touchdown. And Kendrick Bourne had a lot of drops, unfortunately a lot of crucial ones, but he also made some big receptions in this game. By the way, yes, I am wearing a throwback Kaepernick jersey. Reason being is he's getting some workouts. He might be back in the NFL soon, so this might be last month or so or last few weeks, whatever. I'm not saying it's gonna happen, but it's a possibility that might be the last time we can say he was last 49ers quarterback. So let's just wearing this jersey in honor of that. Not trying to start any political controversy. It's just a strictly football-related Kaepernick throwback jersey. But anyway, Jimmy G, he had his flashes, but he had more more passing yards than Russell Wilson, as a matter of fact, but still, he just looked kind of rusty at times. Dante Pettis, though, he just did not look good at all. He had a touchdown here in Arizona in that game, and he had that Week 3 game-winning touchdown against the Steelers, but other than that, he had just looked awful. He just had not looked good at all. So, I don't know. Emmanuel Sanders got injured. He went down. He's having a minor ribs injuries. I don't know his status for next game, but the injury is not severe. But you could tell, because he was making plays in that first half, you could tell when he went down that it was going to be a lot tougher, I should say, to win this fucking game. And, of course, with George Kittle, our all-pro tight end, also out, regardless of if Sanders even got injured too, it was going to be tougher to actually move the ball against the Seahawks defense. But for the most part, in that first half with Sanders in there, they were able to do it. But once Sanders went out, Kendrick Bourne, despite his horrible drops, he was actually the best receiver I think the Niners had on Monday night. So, yeah, like, take that for what you want. But Kendrick Bourne, I still have faith in him that he can improve from his mishaps. Of course, he also had that 2-point conversion after DeForest Buckner got that strip on Russell Wilson and returned it back for the touchdown. Niners went for 2, and Kendrick Bourne got it. And he also had had 4 receptions, I believe, and he had kind of a hot and cold game. He was good when he felt like it, and he was bad at times, really bad on crucial parts of the game. Deebo Samuel had a great game, but unfortunately in overtime he also had a crucial drop. Defensive side of the ball, Fred Warner was spectacular. I believe he had 9 tackles. He had a couple sacks. With the injury to Quan Alexander, really crucial for Fred Warner to step up, and he did. Nick Bosa had a good game. DeForest Buckner, of course, was pressuring Wilson. And, of course, he had that strip that returned it for a touchdown, forcing that fumble. Dre Greenlaw also, at the end towards the end of regulation, had that crucial fumble recovery for a touchdown. And the AZ Niner Empire bar, shout out to them, the AZ Niner Empire was lit after that. I felt like I was at a Niners home game. It got so loud in that bar. Man, shout out to the AZ Niner Empire for repping the Niners here. But, yeah, the Niners played a good game, but not good enough to actually beat the Seahawks, their division rival. Defensively, this was a battle just straight up between both teams. Both defensive lines had an A-plus game. Chase McLaughlin got the game-tying field goal to send the game into overtime. But then, of course, he missed the game-winning field goal. But if the Niners had just done better on that drive, they could have gotten in closer range. Or they could have even got it into the end zone. Who knows? Tevin Coleman in this game, he had that big run, but overall the Seahawks defensive line was able to shut down the running game. Matt Breida went out in the in the first half before halftime as well. So the running game just did not look that good with that one exception of that Tevin Coleman run. And Tevin Coleman, he always looks solid. I see him having a big game at home against Arizona, but the Seahawks got the win. They ended up getting the game-winning field goal after the Niners did not get it. And it's been a controversy whether should the Niners have just tried to run the ball, run out the clock, get the tie. Here's my take on that is they should have at least thrown it on. They threw it on all 4 downs. They should have at least thrown it on first down and ran it after that, I think. Like, they should have at least, made somewhat of an attempt to run out the clock. Don't not give the Seahawks enough time to march downfield and get that game-winning field goal. Go for the long shot on first down, run it on second down, run it on third down, throw it on fourth down was what I say you do in that situation. Deebo Samuel, of course, had a great game, but then had that drop that could have been big yardage in overtime. It could have set up a game-winning field goal that the rookie Chase McLaughlin would have actually made. So, anyway, congrats to the Seahawks. They got the win next week in Arizona, at home against Arizona. I was at the game here in Arizona where the Niners got the 3-point win. They dominated in the first half in that game, but the Cardinals came back. I don't think this is going to be a blowout. I think this might end up being kind of a low-scoring game a little bit. I'm going to say it's going to be 20-10. The Niners get the win over the Cardinals. So, and this is again, the Niners need to at least win by 10 points to prove they're still one of the top teams in the NFL. Because the schedule after this game is only going to get tougher. Packer game is now flexed to a Sunday night game in a couple weeks. And the game against the Rams at Levi's is going to be a Saturday night game now. So, Niners need to win some of those games. If anything, they need to go at least 13-3 to clinch home field advantage and clinch that NFC West. And hopefully they'll already have the division clinched by the next time they play these damn Seahawks, so that Week 17 game can actually be meaningless. Anyway, Danny G is out. Peace.